If you've ever gone all in on someone and watched them slowly pull away anyway, this is for you. Going slow is actually the fastest way to get the relationship you want. I know that sounds backwards. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why rushing is destroying your chances. And you'll have 4 specific tools you can use starting this week to finally change that pattern. I used to be the most anxious dater alive. The second I met someone I liked, I was all in. Texting morning, noon, and night. Meeting friends, making plans 3 months ahead. I thought if I could just create enough closeness fast enough, they'd fall in love with me and stay. And every single time, the same thing happened. They pulled away. The energy shifted. The fizzle came. And I was left sitting there thinking, what just happened? I did everything right. Here's what I didn't understand then. I wasn't building connection. I was building an addiction. And there's actual science behind why. And once you hear it, you will never look at early dating the same way again. When you meet someone new, your brain releases dopamine, the same reward neurotransmitter activated by drugs and substances. I'm not being dramatic. It activates the exact same part of your brain. There's a part of your brain called the ventral striatum. It creates your thought loops, the stories and narratives you build about someone before you actually know them. So when someone starts texting you constantly and showing up with energy, your brain goes, reward, more, now. And you start attaching not to who they actually are, but to the feeling they give you. Then the halo effect kicks in. Your brain fills in the blanks with an idealized version of this person. They're kind to a waiter once, and suddenly you've decided they're thoughtful, compassionate husband material. You're not seeing them, you're seeing the version your brain invented because it wanted more dopamine. And then social media piles on. If he doesn't text you every day, he's not interested. So now you're anxious, rushing, trying to lock it down before it disappears, and you're doing all of this before you even know who this person is. So your brain is hooked. Your feelings are running the show. And now you decide, I'm going to slow down. And then your body completely falls apart. That's not weakness. That's your nervous system. And this is the part most people skip entirely, which is exactly why they keep ending up in the same place. When you try to slow down, your nervous system panics. This is new. This is unfamiliar. And your brain reads unfamiliar as unsafe. So you might notice your heart racing, your thoughts spiraling, an urge to text first, to check in, to create certainty. That's fight or flight. Or maybe you go the other way. You shut down, go quiet, people please, shrink. That's freeze or fawn. Both are your nervous system trying to protect you from the unknown. What you need isn't to push through it. You need to regulate first. Neuroscientist Jill Bolt Taylor found that an emotion takes just 90 seconds to run its course in your body. 90 seconds. The reason it lasts longer is because your thoughts keep re-triggering it. So instead of spiraling, the practice is feel the sensation, name it, and let it move. Walking works because bilateral stimulation activates both sides of the brain simultaneously and interrupts the rumination loop. Journaling works because writing moves the thought out of the spiral space and into a processing space. Even sitting up straight, putting your hand on your chest, and breathing slowly for 90 seconds can shift your entire state. The goal isn't to feel nothing. The goal is to pause long enough to ask, am I responding to this person or reacting to my own fear? That question alone will save you months. Now, the 4 ways to actually go slow in real life, not as a theory, as something you do this week. First, pause before you respond. Not to be strategic, to check in. Before you send that good morning text first, ask yourself, do I actually like this person, or am I just scared of the silence? That one pause changes everything. Second, protect your existing life. Don't cancel your plans for someone you've known 3 weeks. If going away for a weekend or not answering for 2 hours sends someone running, that's information. That's not a person ready for something real. Third, set the pace out loud. You're allowed to say, I'm excited about getting to know you, but I move at a slower pace. This isn't me pulling away. I just don't match this level of intensity this early. If they respect it, you have something worth building. If they bolt, they just saved you months. Fourth, ask real questions. How did your last relationship end? And what did it teach you about yourself? How do you handle conflict? What does a healthy relationship actually look like to you? These aren't pressure questions. They're the difference between building real intimacy and building a dopamine loop with a stranger. Now I want you to stay with me for this last part, because this is where everything we just covered actually clicks. There's a question I want you to ask yourself, honestly, right now. Are you attaching or are you connecting? Because they feel identical in the beginning, and they lead to completely different places. Attaching sounds like, I need this person. I have to make this work. If this falls apart, I don't know what I'll do. Connecting sounds like, I like this person. I don't fully know them yet. I'm living a full life, and they're an addition to it, not the answer to it. If you keep meeting the same type of person, keep ending up in the same dynamic, keep feeling that same crushing feeling 2 months in, that's a pattern. And the pattern isn't bad luck. It's information. Get curious about it without shame. That's where the real shift happens. Going slow isn't a game. It's not a tactic. It's not playing hard to get. It's the only way to let your nervous system and your brain actually wire with a real person, instead of attaching to a feeling and calling it love. You deserve to know who someone is before you hand them your whole heart. And the right person will not disappear while you take the time to figure that out. You are not too much. You are not too slow. You are not broken. You're just finally learning that the right love doesn't require you to shrink to keep it. If this resonated, the next step is understanding your attachment style, because that's the root of why you rush in the first place. It'll make everything we just covered click even harder. Subscribe if you want more, and drop a comment. Are you a rusher